friends, it is Margaret, and it is time to talk about what I will be reading in June. So, new angle because the lighting, look at how much better this lighting is. I'm so happy. I don't have to fight with my white balance anymore. It's amazing, guys. Be happy with me. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, it's time to talk about what I'll be reading in June. You're going to see some repeats from my May TBR because I did get through quite a few of those books. I'm impressed. I'm happy with myself. But I didn't get through all of them because a girl can only read so much, and she also started a new job. So we've got 13 books on this TBR because I have not learned my lesson. Technically, at the moment, I only have 11 books on this TBR, but we're about to change that. It has been a while since I've pulled out this guy. I don't think you guys have ever seen me actually use it in a video and read the books. I'm pulling out one from here because I'm already reading one for my physical TBR, and that is Abaddon's. I'm still working on this. Okay, we're gonna have to start using our right hand. That is Abaddon's Gate. I'm loving this series. This is the third book in the Expanse series. It is about the crew of the Rocinante, and they have to take care of they end up getting their ship blown up, and they get their ship blown up and end up in the middle of kind of this galactic war. It's only in our galaxy at the moment. I know where things are going because I've seen the show, but like they end up in this kind of interplanet struggle. There, I can use words. They end up in this interplanet struggle because there's this proto-molecule thing that is basically like this really deadly virus, and it's got its own agenda, and it's taking over entire things, and just bad stuff is happening. And so this is the third book. They thought they had a handle on it. Obviously there's a third book, so they didn't, and they're going to have to deal with it. And I cannot wait. Jim and Naomi are my new favorite ship. Like, not my favorite ship, but they're like a new OTP, and they give me life, and they're going to be the thing that comforts me when Bellark lets me down. I'm not even kidding. They're like adult Perkabeth, and it's fantastic. I love it. All right, now, I am going to reach into the TBR jar, and we are going to pick a book. We may have to pick more than one book, because it needs to be a book by someone who I have never read. And it can only be one of the yellow ones, because I don't have access to my library at the moment. Okay, let's see. Have I read Stolen Songbird. Stolen Songbird by Danielle L. Jensen. This has been on my TBR for a longo time-o, and I'm not sure what it's about, but there is a curse, okay? There are trolls. Someone is in the city beneath the mountain, and then she's kidnapped, and the trolls are trying to break the curse. There is also a rebellion. Okay, so we've got trolls, a curse, people living under the mountain, a girl gets kidnapped, and there's a rebellion. That's what's happening in this book. We will see it again in a minute because I'm using it to fill a TBR prompt. I guess we're doing 12 books because I've just made the executive decision that I am not pulling two from here since I've already got one that is going to be from my physical TBR. Why not? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Maybe it'll be a short one. Okay, what's this? Esperanza Rising. Fantastic. That is a nice short. So I've got Esperanza Rising by Pam Munoz Ryan. At some point, I read this a long time ago. I don't remember it at all. I'll probably get into it. This will be probably another Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry type situation where I get into it and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this book. But let's see, what's it about? This is set in the Great Depression. Esperanza is a young girl living on a ranch in Mexico, and then stuff happens that forces her family to flee to California. Now it is time to get into the readathons that I am going to be doing.
Hello. It is Editing Margaret again, technically, but I think this clip is going before the clip that I filmed a couple days ago. So I am doing two readathons, but I'm also doing the Blackout buddy read that just came up in the next couple of days. It's going from June 5th to June 19th. I will have all of the information. Books with Shay is the originator of this buddy read. The books that we are reading for this readathon are going to be White Fragility, Why It Is So Hard for White People to Talk About Racism by Robin DiAngelo, and then also White Rage by Carol Anderson, who you might have seen. One Person, No Vote, that's also a Carol Anderson book, so you might have seen that floating around BookTube because I know it's been making arounds.
I'm not going to be doing my Voltathon TBR in this video. I will do that in another video closer to when Voltathon starts. If you don't know what Voltathon is, I will have a link up here. You should check it out. It's a readathon that I run. It's based around Disney movies. This round, we're doing Brother Bear, and we've got a really interesting group book. So the first readathon I will be participating in, to no one's surprise, is the Olympic Games. It is a Percy Jackson or Greek mythology run readathon being put on by Ishii Time. It runs from June 1st to the 30th. I will put Ishii's announcement, that's the word, announcement video in the description box. I am going to be in the Athena cabin, as evidenced by the fact that I am wearing my owl earrings. Yeah, I have a lot of owls in a lot of places. Might be a problem. There are 5 prompts for each cabin. You do not have to complete them in any particular order, so I'm just gonna go in the order that they are on in the little thing that she gives you in the thing that you'll be able to see when you click on her announcement video if you're interested. So the first prompt is to read a book that is outside of your comfort zone. Hold on, this has got a long subtitle, so I'm gonna need a minute, but I will be reading This Land is Their Land, The Wampanoag Indians, Plymouth Colony, and the Troubled History of Thanksgiving by David J. Silverman. If you've been on my channel for any amount of time, you would know that I am very interested in social justice. I can't talk. I'm sorry. I'm interested in social justice. I'm interested in perspectives that are not my own. I'm interested in knowing the real history and having a full idea of the harm that has been done to Black and Indigenous peoples in this country. This is part of that. That was really a loud slap. So this is out of my comfort zone, number 1, because it is nonfiction. I don't read a lot of nonfiction. And number 2, because I am a white person who will be reading this and having to confront some of the history that I have been taught. These are never comfortable books to read, but I always feel like I come out on the other side of them better and with more knowledge and more understanding and empathy. The next prompt for the Athena cabin is to read a book that features a school. I will be reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney. This is one of my brother's picks for the Best Friends Choose My TBR video that I did. I'll have that linked up top if you want to see all of the videos and the ridiculousness of them going through choosing the books. Actually, it's mostly just us ribbing each other. So if that's your thing, go for it. This is about Greg, who is a middle schooler dealing with middle school things. I don't really know that much beyond that, but I need to read it. The next prompt for the Athena cabin is to read the longest book on your TBR, and I did in fact actually make sure that this was the longest book that I have currently on my TBR. Beauty of Darkness might be longer, but I need to read the sequel. No, the book before it's the last book in the series, so I'm not counting that one. So what we're gonna read is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I need to read this because it is about Will's kids, and I love Will Herondale with a beautiful, bright, burning passion. Because at one point in my life, I would have married him. I'm assuming that's still gonna hold true when I get adult Will, but at the moment, the Will that I know is 18 and I am not. However, when I was 20, I definitely would have, like, yes, please, thank you. I have a weakness for dark-haired guys who like books, so snarky dark-haired guys who like books. Like, if there's banter, I'm into it. Anyways, so this is the sequel series to the Infernal Devices series, which there's a whole thing there. I have to finish that series first. So we'll see if I actually get to this. I'm hoping, maybe, possibly. We're gonna try. The next prompt is to read a book by your favorite author. For that, we need to come over here. My favorite author's on display at all times. Hello, Editing Margaret here. I'm editing, and it occurs to me that I said Percy Jackson's Greek Gods is what I'm going to be reading for one of the prompts. So you'll see it on the shelf behind me, but I'm not actually reading it because in order to be done with Trials of Apollo in time for Tower of Nero, we need to start the Hidden Oracle this time. So I will actually be reading the Hidden Oracle for whatever prompt this is for. And finally, you need to read a book with a bird on the cover. For that, I am once again going to try and read Beyond a Darkest Shore by Jessica Leigh. This is about 2 people, from what I remember from the last time I looked at from the last time I looked at the thing, it's about 2 people on opposite sides. It's based on Viking lore, and they're both having visions of like the end of the world or of something bad that is going to happen, and so they end up meeting up somehow, and it's up to them to work together despite the differences in their cultures or their tribes or whatever is going on, like whatever it is that separates their two peoples. They have to work against that and save the world. So after the Olympic Games, I'm also going to be participating in FEELGOODATHON. That is being put on by Jess from Jess Reads Books. I will have her announcement video linked down below in the description box. That readathon is running from June 1st through the 14th, and it has a bunch of prompts. It has 10 book prompts and 10 self-care prompts, and you're allowed to do as many or as few as you want. I specifically went to book prompts that were not already possibly covered by books that are on my Olympic Games TBR. One of the prompts that I'm going to be hitting is to finish or continue on with a series that you are reading. I'm going to be reading Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Infertile Devices series, quite possibly my favorite Shadowhunter series. I'm not entirely sure. I have to read all of them to be sure of that. It's been a while since I've read The Mortal Instruments, and I loved it. So this is about Tessa Gray. She thinks she's a normal human being, a mundane. She doesn't know what that word is, but she thinks she's normal until she goes to meet her brother in London and ends up being kidnapped by a pair of warlocks, and then discovers that she has the power to shapeshift into different people. So she's kidnapped, she ends up getting rescued by a group of shadow hunters and discovers that there's this whole other world that she didn't even know existed, and that she has magical powers and all kinds of stuff. I love this series so much. Could be my favorite Shadowhunter ship, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Again, I have to read all of the books. Another one of the prompts that I want to tackle is to read a book that you picked out for the cover. And I'm going to be reading Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. Again, I didn't necessarily pick it out for this part of the cover, but guys, do you see this? It's so pretty and shiny and I love it. And it's about, I don't remember her name. It's about Nora. And from what I remember, Nora is part of this kind of group of women that watch over this Winterwood, or they're connected to this Winterwood. And then there's also a camp for wayward boys. And one of the boys goes missing and she finds him in the wood and he has no memories, and then something else tragic has happened on that same night. And so she's trying to figure that out, and she realizes that he might not be telling her everything he knows. And it goes from there. I'm also going to be doing the prompt that is to read one of the host's favorite books, because I saw one of the books and I was like, you know, it's time for a reread. I'm going to be reading one of Tish's faves, and that is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. It's just been too long since I've sat down and hung out with Inej and Kaz and all of that. And I do know that the TV show is going to have them in it, so just, you know, refresh my memory, enjoy myself, comfort myself from the fact that the 100 is eventually going to break my heart. I'll have them always, though. The next prompt that I picked out was to reread an old fave, and that is going to be Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This book, guys, has one of the most perfect endings. Like, I've never had a book, or at least very rarely do you have a book where you put it down and you're like, I don't need any more from that world. I mean, I didn't think I did, and then this one came out, but that's a whole different story. But I didn't need anything else. It was so beautiful and perfect, and I was so perfectly satisfied and happy. I've only ever really had that happen with this and with City of Glass. Don't ask me why. I'm just the way I am as a person. Okay? And the final prompt that I picked out, for me at least, for FEELGOODATHON, I'm going to try and hit all 10, maybe, possibly, because I am who I am as a person. But the final prompt that I'm actually, like, want to get to is to the one where you read something by an author, a new author, to you. And that's what I'm going to use Stolen Songbird for. Ta-da! Those are all of the books that I'm going to be trying to read in the month of June. Let me know in the comments what you are planning to read in June. Are you participating in either of these readathons? Are you going to be doing Vaultathon? Have you seen the Vaultathon video? You should go watch the Vaultathon video, please. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, there will be other videos over here. You're already on YouTube. You might as well click the next one. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye!